Guys, life ain't easy, but it's simple. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Listen to this. There was an NFL team that stood for the black national anthem, but most of them sat during the real patriotic American national anthem. Somebody tell me that all these cats get CTE? But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman, and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my videos. And most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka Liberal's Worst Nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at Greg Foreman BCP. Let's get it. Watch this video of the Baltimore Ravens standing during the black national anthem and then kneeling during our real national anthem. How disrespectful is this, guys? They tried to say it's not about the anthem. They tried to say it's not about the flag. But what the Baltimore Ravens just did has revealed to me and many other Americans what they are about and what they really think about this country. And this comes days after the NBA players kneeled on 9/11, on a day that so many Americans hold near and dear to their hearts. A date in which we all pay our respects for that tragic event. On the day we lost thousands of American lives in an attack on our country. A day that we all cherish. You kneeled on that day? The NBA players weren't even kneeling like that. So the fact that they choose to kneel on a day like that shows that they are purposely disrespecting a certain group of people in this country, and they're doing it blatantly. Now look at what the Baltimore Ravens are doing. Guys, do we have two national anthems? I'm black. I don't even know what the black national anthem is. The NFL is now telling me what the so-called black national anthem is. I didn't even know. Now they're trying to tell us that we have two national anthems, guys. Like, where's this country going? What are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, we got guys that are staying inside, not even coming out for the national anthem at all. We got guys that are kneeling. Some people standing up. Some people just doing whatever. You got coaches. Frank Wright of the Colts was the first NFL head coach to kneel during the anthem. And ironically, his team got his ass whooped by the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? So it tells me where these guys' heads are at. Even the coaches' heads are not in the game. They're on protesting and, Black Lives Matter and all this other shit that they're trying to push on us. Their heads are not even in the game. They're more concerned about making a gesture. And guys, you want to know what I thought was the absolute worst besides standing/kneeling for two national anthems? All the woke messaging that the NFL and the commercials was trying to indoctrinate people with throughout the game. I mean, people were wearing "end racism" shirts. Like, what does that mean? What do you mean by end racism? Because you can't end racism. Racism has always been around since there was a race, right? So when you're trying to tell me that you want to end racism, I really don't know what the hell are you talking about, right? Because I know you guys aren't talking about people running around here in KKK hoods, white supremacists. You can't be talking about that because I've seen more people in white hoods protesting for Daniel Prude than I've seen KKK members walking around here in white hoods. So I don't know what you're talking about. And then secondly, they're talking about the victims of racism. Who is a victim? Who was a victim of racism? What they're really saying in a subliminal way is that the victims of racism are black people. That's what they're saying. They're saying that the victims are black people. Black people are victims. That's what the NFL is telling you. And people watching this, that's normal people making $50, $60, $70, $80,000 a year, or maybe less or more, but damn sure not $1 million a year, are looking at these players as like, these players are victims of racism, and they out here making millions of dollars a year, living better than 99.999% any white person that ever walked the planet. But that's the liberal ideology. The liberal ideology, the playbook, is to tell black people that they are victims and to convince you that you've been victimized, and the great savior of black people is the white liberal. Because look at the messaging. It takes all of us. What does that imply? It takes the white man to come and save you from racism and from all this so-called injustice that you guys say that you're experiencing. This is textbook white liberal propaganda. Textbook. Victimize black people and then present themselves as the savior, and then tell everybody else that the conservatives are racist when the conservatives are the ones that are trying to save these players' pocketbooks and means of change for their communities. When football fans in the South and the Midwest are the main contributors to this great system that creates thousands of black millionaires and generational wealth for black communities. The South and the people from Middle America are the people that help sustain that system. So when you disrespect those people, you're essentially trying to bite the hand that feeds you. I mean, literally, Middle America feeds America. Literally, right? And the liberal is trying to mess up that money train for the players. The liberals are trying to mess up the means of change that these players say that they seek, because they know if there's actual change, if the players pull themselves up by the bootstraps like us conservatives have been telling them to do and tell everybody to do that lives in this country, then the players could solve their own problems, and then they wouldn't need the liberals anymore. They wouldn't need them. They wouldn't need to vote Democrat. You don't need the government. But they want to keep you dependent on them so they ultimately can continue to mentally control you. That's why they have to victimize black people, because the white liberal wants to continue to control them. And they don't want black people to think for themselves and to raise themselves up like conservatives do. Well, conservatives have enough respect for black people to believe that black people can do for themselves, that black people are in charge of their own destiny, and that it doesn't take the white liberal to come through and tell them, y'all need to do this, this, and that, and you need to depend on us. And that's why I say that it is odd to me how we've gotten to a point where the liberal is framed as somebody that cares and that's not racist, and the conservative is framed as a racist. The conservative respects you enough to teach you how to fish. He don't want to go fishing for you. He'll teach you how to fish so you can get your own fish and you become self-sustaining. That's how much respect the conservative has for these players and for the black community. But I'm here to tell these players something. You guys are going nowhere fast with this. You're not unified in anything. You know why the fans booed you guys in your moment of unity? It's because the only thing you guys are unified in is your support for Black Lives Matter and for these liberal ideologies that these Democrat politicians and some of them communists are pushing on this country and on our people. And we won't stand for it. That's why you got booed. That's why you got booed. And now you guys can't even figure out whether you want to stand for the national anthem. You got two national anthems. Some people don't even want to come out for the national anthem. Like, coaches are kneeling. Like, you're just kind of doing everything. So you're not unified in anything that you guys are doing. And what they don't realize is that these liberals are going to make them go broke. They're going to lose their money running behind a liberal. And lo and behold, what always happens is that liberals suck off the black community and suck them dry. This league that is made up of primarily 70 to 80% black males, the most successful millionaire factory in history of this country for black people, the NFL. The liberals are trying to tear down that institution by going out there and telling you guys to push their bullshit on these people. And the people that you're pushing your agenda on, you're offending those people, and those are people that also really care about you, because the liberal does not care about these players. And that's why they're trying to sacrifice these players to push their agenda, but they're not going to be able to replace the player's salary when half of America stops watching football. Because I don't understand how you can continue to watch football when you got people standing for a black national anthem and then sitting for our true national anthem. How is that not divisive? You guys are here to cause division. The only thing that us conservatives want is for these guys to show a little respect and stand for the national anthem for a country that has allowed you to make millions of dollars playing a child's game. Life-changing generational wealth. These guys are going to make more money than 99.9% of any white person to ever walk this great soil. And you're sitting here complaining about systemic racism and oppression? If you were born in America, period, you have a better life than 99.9% of anybody to walk this planet. Even if you poor, you still a king compared to, people living in Southeast Asia right now. Go to Bangladesh. Go be middle class in Bangladesh. You living like a king in America, even if you poor, compared to being middle class in a country like that. What is so wrong with showing appreciation for a country that allows you to go out there and make the change that you want to make? The conservatives want to see these players be successful. We want to enjoy the game. Football is a game where we can all come together, black or white, and celebrate these players and celebrate this performance, this art. But the liberals have come in and they've ruined the art and they brainwashed these players. And now, as conservatives, we may now need to pull our money from under the NFL and show them that you can't disrespect your main customer base and get away with it. Because we care about these players and we want these players to make as much money as possible so that they can affect the change they want to see in their communities. That's what it's all about. We've allowed these players to have life-changing amounts of wealth, more than most of any fan is going to ever have. All we want to see is just a little respect for a country that has allowed them to do that despite our past. Yes, our past is bloody. Yes, our past involves discrimination and racism. But we are great despite of that. And adversity breeds greatness. That is why we're a great country, because we were able to overcome that adversity and still become a country in which a black man who was a second-class citizen and a slave 250 years ago can now be the president of the United States, and they can make millions of dollars, life-changing amount of wealth, and make more money than 99.9% of any white man in this country just from playing a child's game. And y'all run around here talking about you oppressed. It's just not going to resonate with people. If middle America in the South stops watching football, the NFL is done. And the NFL, before they know it, is going to find themselves with some competition. Look what's happened to the NBA. The NBA's ratings has dropped like 40% or something like that. Something crazy. The NBA is shedding money. The NBA now has to rely on China. They have to rely on China. That's why they're so subservient to China, because they know that their American audience is so limited that they need to go global, international, in order to survive long term. That's why they don't care about pushing this woke liberal nonsense on people, because they know they're just going to milk all those people dry and then they're going to move to China next. That's what it's about. But the NFL, you don't have that luxury. There's no place on earth where you can have another NFL except the United States. So if you lose your fan base, there's nowhere else to go. Somebody needs to step up, be an adult, and be like, no, everybody's going to stand for the national anthem. I think the Raiders all stood up. So kudos to John Gruden if that's true. That's a good man right there. You know, doing what's right for the players. Standing up for the national anthem is in the best interest of the players, because it's in the best interest of the players monetarily. What's in the best interest of the players monetarily is in the best interest for these communities that these players say they're trying to help. It's a very simple equation. And the liberal understands this equation. That's why he doesn't want the players to stand for the national anthem, because he wants to hurt the players monetarily. Because if the players actually worked efficiently and effectively to solve their problems, the liberals couldn't help them anymore. There'll be nothing for them to complain about anymore. And that's why these liberals are so dangerous to these players, and I'm so passionate about this subject, because these liberals and this ideology are really pushing these players down to a path of no return, just like the NBA, where they're going to permanently turn off a lot of fans. And this week was not a good week. You cannot have people standing for a black national anthem in and kneeling for our true national anthem is not going to work. People are going to turn off their TVs if they already haven't. So I don't know, man. Somebody tell me, players all got CTE or what? Because only somebody that has no understanding of business, that wants to harm themselves, or is just plain stupid, would continue this charade that does nothing for the communities that these people are trying to help. Standing for the national anthem is social justice, is going to help your community. Standing for the national anthem is going to help build black wealth. Standing for the national anthem is in the best interest of the black community. Life ain't easy, but it's simple. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. The NFL, you making money, and you probably gonna make more money in the short term. But just remember, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to A Black Conservative Perspective. Peace.